Good morning, I'm Frank Powers, and this is Lifestyle Tucson, the program where I speak to our neighbors, the people behind the scenes of our amazing organizations, small businesses, and nonprofits. Our friends are informing you how they serve our community, and they are here to give you updates on future projects. Let's make some old friends today. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Those are the inspiring words of JFK and a call to action for the public to do what is right for the greater good. This quote inspired a young fifth grader many years ago to ask his mom if they could do something. He asked if they could start a charity, and they did. They made flyers and posters. They hit the streets and passed them around the neighborhood in Mom's minivan. And now, 14 years later, the math adds up, maybe I'll check that, CODY'S Friends is a lifesaver to pets and their people. And today, I'm fortunate to speak with Amber Allen, Executive Director of CODY'S Friends. Amber, welcome back to Lifestyle Tucson.
Well, thank you, Frank.
I'm excited. We were talking all off mic, and you were getting me going. We got to get talking right now because this is going to be a call to action. We got to get some people helping out and realizing the crisis that we're dealing with when it comes to pets. First, let's talk about CODY'S Friends and what your organization does, and then we'll get into the why you do it and why we got to do it more and why we got to figure out something else.
So what CODY'S Friends does, Frank, is we're the go-to for thousands of families in need in Pima County that can't afford to feed their pets or struggling to feed their pets. Also, we have 50 human service organizations that come to CODY'S Friends: food banks, soup kitchens, first responders, veteran organizations. So wherever you are in southern Arizona, if you can't get to our building on Flowing Wells, there will be a soup kitchen or food bank, what have you, that you go to where we will have pet food there for you. Mm-hmm. So they kind of act as our satellite outposts.
That's amazing. And again, you have a lot of donation centers around town, correct?
We have what we call CODY'S donation stations. They're donation boxes, and if you go to our website under where to donate, you can see the business locations of those boxes. And you can donate pet food. You can donate used leashes, collars, crates, beds, toys, anything and everything you have that's collecting dust in the garage. Let it go to a pet that simply is in dire need and doesn't have that leash or that collar to keep it safe. So, yeah, we really appreciate the area businesses that have partnered with us.
The full list's available over at CODY'sFriends.org. So this is an old note. It says you're on track to distribute over 1 million pounds of pet food. Have you done that now?
There's more than that goes out every year.
I believe it.
Yeah, and so part of that is CODY'S Friends is also the Arizona, we are an Arizona ambassador of Greater Good Charities.
Yes, which is a big deal.
Right, so we provide, through Greater Good we get pet food specifically earmarked to Arizona rescue banks and shelters. That's not part of the CODY'S Friends Community Pets program.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, that's over and above. But yes, inclusive of that, it's well over 1 million.
Oh, that's huge. So now let's talk about a big event coming up, and then we're going to talk about why this is important. Because, again, you're tugging on my heartstrings off air, and I said we just got to get talking. Because there's a crisis going on when it comes to adopting pets in Tucson, the amount of people that can't afford to keep their pets, because everyone does think that, or not everyone, but I was thinking right there, it's a homeless pets, or it's for no, it's families. It's a lot of everyone, because dog food's expensive, pet food is expensive, and it's gotten more expensive. We're all dealing with this when we look at even just our fast food menus. The $5 footlong, long time ago, right? We're not paying these prices that we were paying just 3 years ago. You can see some of the value menus at your fast food places are skyrocketing as compared to what they were before the pandemic. And that's going for all groceries across the board, and especially pet food. So it is a big deal. Tell me about some of the problems you're really facing and how we're going to solve it together on May 8th at Sam's Club at River and Stone.
Well, so the problems that we're facing essentially is what Southern Arizona is facing, and that is a lot of families in need, a lot of individuals in need. And, Frank, it comes down to do you pay more and buy that milk and bread for your kids, or do you get dog food for your pet? Mm-hmm. And we don't want anyone to be in that struggle. We don't want anyone to have to give up their pet, because for many people, their pet is their family. Their pet is their only companion. And, provide pet food to the homebound,
Mm-hmm.
to homebound seniors and the homebound disabled, and just thousands of people in our community that are in need. And so what is the issue? Well, number one, pet food in our donation stations has gone down considerably, pet food donations.
Wow.
So, yes, anyone out there in the community, please, 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 donate pet food in one of those boxes. You can send us pet food on Amazon, or you can donate and we'll go purchase pet food. The second dilemma is, yes, the price of pet food has gone up considerably, which is why a lot of people are struggling to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, people will say, well, don't you get donations from those manufacturers? Well, over the course of 13 years, we've made incredible contacts. However, I don't know if you've been to the store lately and noticed the pet food aisle, but it's limited.
Yeah.
And anytime there's a shortage on the retail front, there are basically no donations at this point, nationwide.
Wow.
It's not just Arizona. So it's the perfect storm.
That is brutal, and especially here in Arizona where you got tough weather. So that's a big factor when it comes to our pets and taking care of them. Like sometimes even it is just being able to have all those leashes, those things like that, and even just toys and things for teething, stuff like that. People can't afford that if they can't afford pet food. So what sort of lifestyle is that even for a pet? That's really tough. And for families struggling, that's going to be a big problem too. If you're an animal lover, help us out and help them out, because they're having a big event on May 8th at Sam's Club at River and Stone. We're going to pack a pod with as much pet food as we can. Thanks to Tucson PODS, because they're helping out and really getting involved. So what are people going to be able to do at this big event, and what time is it at? It's going to be at the Sam's Club May 8th. Tell me more about this big event.
So what you can do, you can go into Sam's Club and purchase pet food. You can bring pet food from home. You can bring used pet supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing that you donate will go to good use. So,
can people buy things directly from you and CODY'S friends as far as a way for you to help get money or raise money? Like, do you have anything that's available for people to purchase?
We really don't sell anything. I mean, as far as any donation that we get, we fundraise constantly. We receive no tax dollars. So every penny that we get in, we fundraise. We have 20 volunteers that are the reason this has, been able to, the reason we've been able to make it happen over the last 13 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we really don't have anything that, we're not in the business of selling anything. We're just trying to help the community and help keep pets fed.
And think about that, because that's what I mean. Like sometimes these organizations like yours, like the American Heart Association, can make a lot of money because they have like a rewards program and a points program, and you can buy stuff and merch. It's a good way that they support themselves. Smaller organizations like this one, it really just does rely on the generosity of folks out there, and especially pet lovers that care about animals in general and the welfare of animals in Tucson, not just their pets. So we're talking, and you're telling me that you have about 50 nonprofits in the area that do rely on you for their pet food.
Right.
I was saying you're saying you apply for every grant possible and you're working on something now to really get more attention, because it just sounds like your organization is almost like it's too needed. And it's not big enough yet. So you're at like this crossroads where it's like you really do need to get the support for CODY'S friends to grow, because obviously you've been filling a void that's needed, but still not enough because you're not able to.
We've never turned anyone away, Frank.
Right.
It's just every single year the need gets larger and larger and larger as rent's going up.
Right.
And people are having to move out of their homes. Maybe they're having to move into an apartment, and the apartment doesn't take pets, or and so, what we don't want is for people to go hungry. And they will before they let their pet suffer.
Yeah.
So, for instance, one of the food banks said to us, well, before someone would come to the counter for a sandwich with their dog, and they would leave the counter, and 20 feet away you would see them crumbling up that sandwich to give it to their pet. Now they leave the counter with a bag of pet food from CODY'S Friends in one hand and a sandwich in the other. So by partnering with these other nonprofit organizations that serve people in need, we're able to get that pet food out much further.
Sure.
Than just on flowing wells where our building is, where maybe some people might not be able to get to.
Sure.
So yes, we are in need in order to keep up with the growth. Absolutely. And every single year, the percentage of people in need is increasing.
Yeah. Well, listen, I see what you've got. Like, in a way, it's a crisis and it's an opportunity. That's what they say. That's the same word for crisis and opportunity in Japan, right? Crisis-tunity. That's what Homer Simpson says. But what it is for someone out there that actually is a big pet lover, is a big person an advocate for animals. You should step up and do what you can to help this great organization that is helping far too many organizations in need. You're stretched to your limit. Well, we got to help your limit. That's what we got to do.
Well, we appreciate that, Frank.
Well, let's try to get that call to action out there for someone who really does need a calling or a mission for something and might have a little extra time or a little extra money or a little extra of both. Send it to CODY'S Friends, because you're going to be helping a lot of pets in town, and then that means you're helping families in town, means you're helping homeless pets in town, means you're helping kids not lose their best friend in their family if they have to move or if they're in a tough spot or a tough situation. Like we're saying as an example, rents are up, food prices are up, everything is up, and pet food is up. So we need to do our best to make sure that our furry family members are taken care of, because pets aren't a luxury. They shouldn't be. They're a part of your family. That's how it works out. So let's remember to get down to the Sam's Club on May 8th. Starts at 6 a.m. as early as 6 a.m. goes all the way till 7 p.m. You have all day to get down there. Bring some pet food, bring some leashes, bring a harness, or if you don't have any of that at home, go walk right inside of Sam's Club, make a big purchase, bring it on outside, and we're going to pack a pod.
One more thing, if you can't make it that day, you can go to CODY'SFriends.org. Now, there is a CODY'S Friends in Dallas, and that is not us. Go to CODY'SFriends.org, and there you can sign up to volunteer, you can give a donation, you can find out where our donation stations are throughout southern Arizona, where you can leave your used pet supplies. The main thing, Frank, we don't want people to have to surrender a pet in order for it to eat. We don't want anyone in the position of thinking, well, at least if I drop Fluffy off at the shelter, maybe he'll be able to eat today. That's the very last thing that we want.
Yeah. So the first thing we want is go to CODY'S Friends. Go check them out, get all that information, and just get involved. Because today we made friends with Amber Allen, Executive Director of CODY'S Friends. Thank you again for being with me.
Well, thank you so much, Frank. And we just appreciate this event so much. And, we really rely on events like this in order to, continue the supply of pet food coming in so we can help more people. So thank you.
Absolutely. And once again, tell Cody I said hi.
Will do.
This was Lifestyle Tucson. Bing bong bing. Time for a recap. Again, what a great conversation with CODY'S Friends. You can go check them out at CODY'sFriends.org or on Facebook over at Facebook.com/CODY'S Friends Charity. There's an email address, CODY'sCommunityPets@gmail.com. You can find out some information there. But also, you heard everything we're talking about. Help out some pets. I talk about this. The stuff I learned from Amber off air would just break your heart. It's insane to think about. But yeah, take care of these pets is really important. If you're a pet lover, you really should step up, and you might have to help some other people's pets and some of these loose pets all around by donating some food to CODY'S Friends. She's telling me how many of these pet food organizations are having to buy food now because the donations are obviously down because of how unbalanced the economy's gotten, as we were talking about. So think about that and come hang out with us on May 8th. Drop off some pet food at the Sam's Club. We're going to pack a pod. Thank you to PODS Tucson for helping us out there. It's the Sam's Club at River and Stone from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. But I'm trying to be like this big advocate for children's entertainment. I see a gap, and I'm going to try to be the new Mr. Rogers. There's not a human children's entertainer. I'm like choosing this mission in life. And it's a big, bold mission. It is. It's ridiculous. But I believe in myself as an entertainer and what I've done and built. If you care about pets, there is a role for you to just step up and try to be a hero to save as many pet lives as possible. That's what I meant by there's an opportunity in a crisis. If you are someone that cares about pets and the lives and livelihood of animals in Tucson, we have a mission for you. Help out Cody's friends. Get as much information from them as you can, and maybe you can be the champion for pets in Arizona. I mean, really make it your title and goal. Make a choice, make it your mission, make it your identity, and it might be a difference maker for everyone in town. In fact, I can guarantee it is, because that's what it is. So make a choice and think about what you want to do with your life, because if helping pets is the thing you want to do, well, maybe you want to get involved with Cody's Friends. So I want to thank our new friends at Cody's Friends for joining me today. You've been listening to Lifestyle Tucson. If you're a nonprofit that would like to be on the show, email lifestyletucson@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, or espntucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Audible, or wherever fine podcasts are getting belly rubs. Follow on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Lifestyle Tucson, because I'm your BFF, your best Frank forever, Frank Powers. Toot toot Tucson, I love you the most.